Welcome to Edison Open House Global Healthcare 2021. In this session, we're going to be looking at the work of MGC Pharmaceuticals. It's a company which produces and develops phytocannabinoid medicines. With me is their VP of Business Development, Ron Lipsky. Ron, hello.
Hello, hello.
Now, Ron, tell me a bit about MGC and where it was founded and how it's come into this particular market.
Okay, I'm happy to. Thanks for having me today. MGC Pharmaceuticals was founded 6 years ago, in 2014, so now almost 7, by founders who had originated in the Israeli medical cannabis industry, which was one of the first ones to actually enter the global market and, let's say, disseminate the future of medical cannabis as a solution for medical indications, which is the core of basically this entire industry. Following their realization that Israel was going to be a limited market, they opened the company in Slovenia, which was promptly RTO'd by an Australian company. So we're publicly traded in Australia on the MXC ticker on the ASX, and we've been working in Europe to provide product to Australia. We've been working doing the R&D and development in Australia. Our facilities are located in Slovenia, so we're really a global entity that is focused on creating phytomedical products. That we have a pipeline of products that are oriented towards a variety of different indications and different segments. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit more later. Our adventure has been an interesting one. We started out and we opened a cosmetics company, MGC Derma, which we successfully sold to a Canadian concern. We also opened a lifestyle brand, MGC Nutraceuticals, which we sold to another US-based company a few months ago. And the vision has always been to facilitate our biopharma vision with applications that are relevant to the market, give us an opportunity to learn the landscape, and facilitate our ability to create the best products for patients, which at the end of the day is really the focus of our entire pipeline is patients with indications that are not being served by products that pharma currently offers, and trying to give them products that exist at the same level of quality, supervision, consistency, all of the hallmarks of pharmaceutical products applied to what we call phytocannabinoids. These are plant-based cannabinoid elements that work with a system inside your body known as the endocannabinoid system, which again, in the past 15 years, there's been a few really revolutionary discoveries that have really changed the industry, and among them is the interaction of phytocannabinoids with the endocannabinoid system, an internal part of your body that works really well to create balance with everything. And that's what we're trying to bring, balance to our patients, balance to the world a little bit with products that are plant-based but highly efficient and have the ability to lessen side effects and the impact of actually being on a medication, which is something that all of us contend with on a daily basis in various applications.
Now, Ron, this is a very crowded market. There are all sorts of different companies. There's a lot of stuff that's on the internet, which is, perhaps not as rigorous as one would like. How do you distinguish yourself from the crowd?
So first of all, I'll do a little analysis of this market that although it does seem crowded, let's remember there's multiple verticals here that include all the way from construction, if you're including hemp and cannabis as the primary kind of products of this market, the core elements, you have a lot of different things that come into play. So you have from industrial, and we're talking about fabric and clothes and graphene and a million things that can be created from the hemp fiber and the hemp stalks and the hemp stems, which have been byproduct for years. We have the entire lifestyle market that you see emerging very rapidly. These are the CBD health products. These are the sports beverage verticals. These are, and again, let's remember, each one of these verticals is a multi-billion, some multi-million, sometimes multi-billion dollar or euro vertical globally that this one product is having an impact on. So, in our case, we're a biopharma company. We're a biopharma company with a focus on creating the highest end products possible in a pharma environment based on this core element, which has been inaccessible for the past 100 years for a variety of reasons. Other people are focusing on other elements, and those other elements are as diverse as recreational use around the world in certain places that have legalized, medical use in various applications. This is a medical product that can be used in its raw product, the flowers, which are used in Israel and Germany and a variety of other regions. Canada is the best example, all the way through to our products like ours, which are API-based, active pharmaceutical ingredient, maintained at high GMP levels, which work with titration and pharmacovigilance and all of the keywords that anyone that knows anything about pharma wants to be hearing. This also created one of our distinctions. We're one of the very few biopharma companies that you could find out there with multiple products in pipelines to central market authorization who are able to sell our products. Because this entire medical cannabis and therapeutic cannabis regime has emerged globally that's just a little bit unclear, and our products hit that sweet spot. So we're able to develop a clinical pipeline, we're able to develop a clinical pipeline and at the same time bring these products to patients in order to provide immediate relief. And biopharma companies that have raised hundreds of millions of pounds aren't able to do that. We are able to do that because there's that little loophole. So we're going to be able to fund ourselves working towards a more rigorous clinical trial protocol across all of our products in the coming years, which is something that we see as very exciting and also a very valuable proposition for investors.
So tell me a bit more about the pipeline.
So our pipeline is divided into three main segments. These oncological, neurological, and autoimmune. All of these indications have a lot of both, let's call it currently observational, as well as clinical. In the last couple of years, a lot of clinical evidence has been amassed, pointing to the fact that there's significant efficacy to cannabinoids in these fields. Again, I'll always diverse into a little bit of a primer. The cannabinoids that you generally hear about currently are THC and CBD. THC is the one that gets you, it's a psychoactive, it gets everyone high. CBD is the one that seems to make everyone feel better about everything in the world. Neither of those are true. It's a very diverse set of different elements, and as there is THC and CBD, you have another 150 phytocannabinoids that come into play, and it's my belief that as we research all of these, we're going to discover more and more incredible applications and uses, because the more you isolate, the more you're able to diversify your level of treatment. Currently, the problem has always been, if you're getting CBD, you might be getting a little bit of THC. You don't want the THC, you want the CBD. This is what an emerging market is now able to create. So in our pipeline, we have products that are oriented on what we consider to be the most significant and immediate indications and needs. So Canapil for refractory epilepsy. This is a product that has had significant success both in the market and in clinical trials. We're currently engaged in a phase 2B trial in Israel and in Slovenia with Canapil. We're also able to provide Canapil Plus to patients, as I said. So we always have kind of a mirror situation. And as I'm actually doing a very rigorous double-blind placebo trial, I'm also doing observational data collection on patients who are in the real world using our product. Next in our pipeline, we have Cognican. Cognican is a product for dementia and Alzheimer's, which, as we all know, is a problem that is plaguing us with the elderly community and needs to be assisted. We're in a phase 2 clinical study in Australia with University of Notre Dame, and we are looking for other opportunities in other locations. The UK is very interesting because that's an earmarked issue in the UK as far as public health goes, so we would love to be involved in any kind of public health efforts. We do believe that our products are going to have impact on global public health in a significant way, and we want to be able to start gauging that impact. We do clinical trials at a very high level, but doing clinical trials in cooperation with health organizations, government-oriented health organizations, is significant for us, and these are the kind of collaborations that we're constantly seeking. So Cognican is a product that we're very excited about and we believe has a significant market in the future. The phase 2B trials will be followed by a phase 3, probably in Israel and also possibly in Brazil, where we're finding a lot of opportunities for clinical studies that are very, very effective and done at a high level. The third product that I talk about is Artemic. Artemic is of our autoimmune products. Now, interestingly enough, Artemic is non-phytocannabinoid based. It's plant-based, and it follows our line of nature to medicine. But this is a product that we've really fast-tracked in the past year because of the COVID epidemic. It was a product that was originally developed for dealing with what is now being called the cytokine storm, which is the rapid collapse of lung and other functions when your immune system is compromised. And given what we saw of COVID as it emerged already in China, we started realizing that there was a real need to fast track this product. And we entered it into phase 2B studies in 2 facilities in Israel and a facility in India. And the results have been, to say the least, really, 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 really good. And all of this information is available on our website. We're a publicly traded company, but currently we are marketing a product that we believe has a serious, as I said, impact on public health, which we find to be significant. And we're moving it into phase 3 trials very, very rapidly with the intention of getting central market authorization within the next 6 months to a year in order to be able to impact what is currently happening. This is a product that arrests the cytokine storm and therefore means that people don't die from getting the sickness. It's not only oriented around the current epidemic, it has potential for a lot of different indications in the future. But currently, the opportunity to both research it immediately and both use it to actively save lives, and we've seen that happen in our clinical trials now in Israel, where the placebo group unfortunately did suffer both coma and death. And that's a moment that validates a clinical study and makes you realize how important it is to get these things through as quickly as possible. So this is a product that we've really put a lot of effort into. We've used it as a test case to prove that we're a biopharma company that can do these products at the highest level. Not having a phytocannabinoid in play made our life just a little bit easier than it's been for the past 5 years, where we had to deal with the legality of our raw product so often that it distracted from the actual either benefit or access that we were trying to provide. So in this case, we're able to bring it to patients rapidly. And we see already patients wanting it, seeking it, and us having a reason to move it, again, rapidly forward to becoming a true medicine that can then be prescribed and provided by doctors. Currently, it's a food supplement that works, which is a pretty amazing place to be also.
You've outlined a really active and crowded pipeline, and you've mentioned some key moments, but what can investors particularly look out for over the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, one of the things that this Artemic product facilitated was we've always had a very good relationship with the government of Malta and Malta Enterprise. We were actually the first company to be granted a license to pursue operations there, and we've been building a facility in Malta for our phytocannabinoid-based operations for the past year. When COVID hit and when we launched Artemic and we were discussing this with Malta Enterprise, they said, maybe we can do something together. And at the end of the day, we've been granted 80% funding of building a facility to manufacture Artemic. This is a 3.8 million euro facility, and Malta Enterprise and the EU grant that they supplied to us is paying for 80% of it. And we're going to be able to manufacture 20,000 bottles a day of Artemic by June, July, which is also a demonstration of how fast-tracked things can happen given the global situation and how we are trying to make sure that we're responding to that appropriately and putting ourselves in a place where we can be as responsive as possible. So for our investors, I think it's important to see that we're working on multiple levels and we're able to achieve significant milestones without immediately impacting our cash burn, which is something that I think any investor would want to see. We're going to be on the London Stock Exchange in the near future, and that's something that I think is very significant for investors. As one of the first phytocannabinoid-based and definitely the first biopharma company that's phytocannabinoid based to be listing on the LSE. We think it's an achievement. We think it means that we're going to be available to a wider audience of investors that have a deeper understanding of what we're doing. Being traded in a country that's very far away from your bases of operation is a difficult proposition. So we're excited to be operating a little closer to where our hub is in the EU. And the UK market as well is a massive one that we're very excited to be working with, and we're working at the highest levels to be entering at a variety of levels into the UK market. That includes working with patient groups to make sure that our products, which we believe are the highest level, are available to all patients in the UK. And that's a significant step for us, and that's a significant step for investors in our company.
What's your partnership strategy, Ron? Are these products all ones that you're going to produce and market yourselves, or are you going to partner with other companies?
Our partnership strategy is quite diverse. Actually, we like to embrace the ecosystems that we're in as much as possible, and that includes partnering with companies that have the ability to move us forward in our agenda, creating medical devices and delivery systems for our products. We have a very deep relationship with research institutions in Ljubljana in Slovenia, where we operate, that allow us to develop some technologies that put us ahead of the rest of the phytocannabinoid market. We also have research collaborations all over the globe, from the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology in Australia to the Hebrew University in Israel, to various other institutions that we work with on research that we think is going to have significant impact in the future. I think the best way to phrase it is we're very open for business, and we don't think that we can do anything ourselves that someone has done before well. So we're happy to take advice, and we're happy to work with people that know how to do the things that we don't know how to do. To wit, we seek the highest level distribution networks. We've worked only with high-level pharma distributors that work with only pharma companies, as opposed to targeting the medical cannabis market. We're targeting the pharma market, and we're entering it as a small player with a significant share to take.
What about your cash runway?
As I speak to you, we have 6 months ahead of us, which includes clinical trials, which are very expensive endeavors. However, our LSE listing is going to be subscribed, if not oversubscribed, happily, and that'll give us a nice year or two to keep running. As well, we're turning cash positive very soon. Our products are selling quite nicely in Australia. The UK entry is happening, and we see other markets such as Brazil, where our numbers are going up every month. We didn't get a chance in this call to go through a lot of the international markets, but MGC is very, very active in many of those. And as legislation and legalization comes across, our products are positioned to be market leaders quite quickly.
2020 has been a very difficult year for everyone, and for MGC no doubt as well, although it has offered you an opportunity with Artemic. But what's 2021 looking like for MGC?
2021 is about focus, clinical trials, delivery of products to market that we believe, as I said, can be game changers. So 2021, I think for us, is going to be the year of Artemic, this product. It's going to be the year of Canapil, hopefully getting much closer to central market authorization, which is obviously a significant goalpost for us. But I also see in the next year that we're going to take market share that a lot of companies operating currently don't think we'll be able to take, and I'm excited about that.
Ron Lipsky, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me today.